In this chapter, you have understood multi-dimensionality and time dependence of heat transfer and conditions under which heat transfer problems can be approximated as one-dimensional. So you initially went through the introduction. In the introduction, you saw what is the difference between steady versus transient heat transfer. You also saw the multi-dimensional heat transfer as well as heat generation. So steady means what? Nothing but there is no change with respect to time. And transient means there is a change with respect to time. Okay, so there is a variation, varies with time, or it's time dependent. So that is transient heat transfer. You also have seen multi-dimensional heat transfer in rectangular coordinate, in cylindrical coordinates and spherical coordinates. You have also seen multi-dimensional, one-dimensional, two-dimensional, three-dimensional in different coordinates as well. You have also seen what is heat generation. Okay, you know what is heat generation. Heat generation is a volumetric phenomenon. Okay, so you have also seen what is heat generation. Okay, some examples also you have seen. Some electrical energy being converted to heat at a rate of I square R. Okay, fuel element of nuclear reactions, or some examples of heat generation you have seen. Then in the lecture you have also covered one-dimensional heat equations in a large plane wall, in a long cylinder and its sphere, which were all the conditions of one-dimensional. Okay, and then we have also gone through the combined one-dimensional heat conduction equation. Okay, you have also seen the combined one-dimensional heat conduction equation, which is combining all the three. Okay, so you have also covered those in this part. Okay, combined one-dimensional heat conduction equation. It was nothing but 1 over r to power n. Okay, partial over partial r. Okay, r to power n k partial T temperature over partial R plus the heat generation term. Heat generation per unit volume. Okay, heat generation per unit volume is equal to rho C partial T over T, the transient part. This is the transient part. Okay, so this was the general one-dimensional equation for all. Okay, so when n is equal to 0, it is large plane wall. When n equal to 1, it's a cylindrical coordinate, and when n equal to 2, it's for sphere. Okay, cylinder, and 2 for sphere. This is also we have covered. Then we have covered the general heat conduction equations in rectangular coordinates, in cylindrical coordinates, as well as the spherical coordinates. Okay, then you have gone through the boundary and initial conditions. Some of the boundary conditions were specified temperature boundary condition, specified heat flux boundary condition. Okay, we had convection boundary condition, radiation boundary condition, interface boundary condition, and the generalized boundary conditions, which you have covered in detail with the professor in the class. Okay, and then you had some solutions of one-dimensional heat conduction problems. Then how heat generation happens in solid, like we had a portion on that, and then you finally went through variable thermal conductivity. Okay, you have seen what is constant thermal conductivity as well as variable thermal conductivity. Okay, so compared to first chapter, this chapter is considered to be a bit stronger chapter in heat conduction. Okay, so I have taken some quite good examples, sample questions as part of this tutorial. Okay, so let's start with the first question. So see, we said what was the general equation, general one-dimensional equation. What was it? It was nothing but 1 over r to power n. So in our case, in this question, what is n? N is 2. So it's confirmed it's a spherical coordinate, or it's related to sphere. Partial over partial r. Okay, and you also know why we are using partial and not direct. Okay, because partial means we have changes with respect to space as well as we have changes with respect to time. If it was only with respect to time, then you can use dt over dx or whatever it is, or only with respect to space means it's okay. But here we have changes with respect to two things. There is a spatial change as well as the time dependent change. So that's the reason why we are using partial. Okay, r to power n k partial t over partial r. This is the general one I am writing. Okay, general one dimensional equation plus heat generation term is equal to the transient term, which is rho c partial t over partial t. So this is our general equation which we can use it for when n is equal to 0, it is plane wall. When n is equal to 1, it is cylinder, and our case n is equal to 2, so it is sphere. So I'll just make it 2 over here. I'll use a different pen so you don't have a doubt. So this I made it 2. Okay. So now we are dealing with, okay. Now you can notice one more thing. If k is variable, you cannot move this k from here. But we found that k is constant, so we can move the k. Okay, so let's go step by step. Is this heat transfer steady or transient? It is transient. Why? Because we have this part, which is the transient term. Okay, so the answer for this is transient. Okay, if it was steady, we will not have this part, it will be 0. Okay, so since we have the transient term, it is a transient heat transfer. Okay, now is it one dimensional, two dimensional, three dimensional? It's one dimensional because we have only one coordinate or written over here, so it's one dimension. It's clear, it is 1D case. Okay, one dimensional. Okay, is there a heat generation in the medium? Is there a heat generation term? No, so this is 0. This part is 0. So there is no heat generation term. No. Okay. Is the thermal conductivity constant or variable? It is constant because k is no longer here. It is divided throughout the equation. Okay. And we also know that alpha is nothing but it is k over rho c. So that's how they got rho cp. Okay. So that's how they got this 1 over alpha over there. So we know alpha is nothing but it is thermal conductivity which is equal to k over rho c. Is that clear? So now let's move on to the next question. So we have covered all the parts in that. This heat transfer is transient. Since we have the transient term, it's a one-dimensional heat transfer because we have 1D case. The heat generation, there is no heat generation in the medium, and the thermal conductivity is constant. Okay, this is constant. The medium is, thermal conductivity of the medium is constant, not variable. Okay, so now let's move on to the next question. Yes, this is a very good question. Okay, this question, that's the reason why I have chosen it. Is the hub, like it's covering most of the parts in this chapter itself. Okay, now let's go step by step. Consider a plane wall of thickness L. The thickness is given, which is 0.3 meter. Okay, thermal conductivity of the wall is given, which is 2.5 watt per meter degree Celsius. The surface area is given. Okay, surface area is given. So before we begin, let's write what all are given. Okay, so we know what all is given. Okay, we have the thickness given, so L is given to be, sorry, since I'm using the mouse like I told in the last session, so there is a small issue with writing with mouse, so I hope you understand it. So L is given, the K is given, the thermal conductivity is given, it's given to be 2.5 watt per meter degree Celsius, watt per meter degree Celsius. Okay, and what is also given? The surface area is given. Area is what? Area is given to be 12 meter square. Okay, the left side of the wall at x is equal to 0 is subjected to net heat flux. Okay, so which boundary condition is that? It is the second boundary condition which you have learned, which is specified heat flux boundary condition. So here the boundary condition is given. So it is, so we can say the flux q dot at 0 position 0 equal to minus k partial t over partial x is equal to the value which is given to be 700 watt per meter square. Okay, while the temperature at the surrounding is measured to be, while the temperature at that surface surrounding is measured to be, T1 is also given. So T1, which is equal to T of at x equal to 0. Okay, this all at x equal to 0 is given to be 80 degrees Celsius. That's also given. Okay, assume constant thermal conductivity. So K is constant. No heat generation in the wall. So what is also given? K is constant. So it's not variable, it's constant. Okay, and what is also given? There is no heat generation. So E dot gen is equal to 0. Okay, express the differential equation and boundary conditions for steady one-dimensional heat conduction equation through the wall. We know from the figure itself and from the problem it's very clear it's a one-dimensional case. Okay, but any time when you start doing the problem, okay, always start with the general equation. Start with the general equation. This is my advice. Always start with the general equation, which is the 3D equation. Okay, so let me change the pen so that you are clear. What is the general equation? It's partial over partial x multiplied by k partial t over partial x plus partial over partial y k partial t over partial y plus partial over partial z. Okay, since we are dealing with rectangular coordinate, that's the reason why I am writing rectangular coordinate 3D case. Partial t over partial z. Okay, plus the heat generation term. E dot gen is equal to the transient term, which is rho c partial t over partial small t. This is time. Now what you will do? You will do step by step cancelling the equations, parts from the equation. We know it's a one-dimensional case, so there is nothing along y, so this is going to be 0 and this is also going to be 0. So it's a 1D case. And they also said the heat generation is 0. So this is also 0. This part is also gone. Okay, and what is also mentioned? Express for a steady one dimension. Steady means there is no change with respect to time. So again this part is also going to be 0. Okay, so what will our equation become? And they also have mentioned k is constant. So you can take the k out. Okay, you can write it as d square t. Now I can make it d square t because I have only one variable changing, which is along the x-axis, right? I don't have any change along time, along y, along z, nothing. And there is no change with respect to time. So it's only one, which is along x. So now I can make it the ordinary dx square. Sorry, all this have squares, okay? So I made a mistake over here. It's all square, d square t over dy square, d square t over dz square. Okay, x square is equal to 0. So this is the equation we have come up. Okay, now we know when we expand what is going to happen. We can write it also as dt over dx I'm performing integration in both sides. Okay, performing integration in both sides. I'll have dt over dx is equal to c1. Okay, so t of x is equal to c1x plus c2. Okay, so now we have formed the equation. The equation is now formed. Okay, so now we have all the values given and the equation is also formed. Okay, now what we will do, we will apply the boundary conditions. Okay, what is our boundary condition? It is specified heat flux, right? So the first part we did, what it was, to express the differential equation and the now one part is also remaining, the boundary conditions. Okay, for this part. Then obtain the relation for variation of temperature. And finally, we will evaluate the temperature at x equal to L. Okay. So let's Hope this was helpful. I hope this part of the tutorial was helpful. Thank you. And if you have any questions, we will discuss in detail in the live session. Okay.